What is up YouTube, and welcome to this The Northman breakdown and review. This is the latest movie from Robert Eggers, who is on one hell of a run after The Witch, The Lighthouse, and now The Northman, which I thoroughly enjoyed and might be my favourite out of all of the three movies. Now, I am a sucker for anything Viking or older European related history in movies, and when I heard that Eggers was tackling Norse mythology, I was very excited due to his take on period pieces like The Witch and his surrealism in The Lighthouse, which would lend very, very well to Norse mythology. Having recently played Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice and Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and binging as much Viking and Northern European history as I can on YouTube, I was eager for this film to tackle the themes of revenge and unavoidable fate that is spun by the crones and the Norns, prominent within Norse lore. Now, the story is actually based on the legend of Amith, which was an inspiration for the legendary Shakespeare work Hamlet, which is pretty neat, and I really like how this is based on it. It's not like a direct kind of adaptation, but it's taken some of the themes and, of course, the main character's name. At the peak of Norse rule in Northern Europe, we follow King Aurvandil, I'm going to call him the king now, played by Ethan Hawke, who has returned from raiding and meets his wife Gudrun. The king's name is referred to a figure in myth whose toe was thrown by Thor to create a star, and Gudrun is named after the wife of Siegfried, you know, the legendary figure in Germanic heroic legend. He has returned, and it's clear that there's a bit of beef between him and his half-brother Folnir, and weirdly he is offered the cup of Gudrun, and, well, Willem Dafoe's Hymir the Fool jests that they are, you know, more than just whatever their relationship is, which we know at the end as Gudrun courted the half-brother to kill his brother, half-brother/king, is also why he killed him after the murder of the king, and his skull was fixed up. Our Northman Amith, played by Alexander Skarsgård, is the son of the king and taken to a ceremony to confirm him as an heir and taught the honour and how he should act as a king in this honour-fueled world. Now, this ceremony uses psychedelics to show the visions of their family tree, and this is very common throughout the movie. Upon leaving, the king is murdered by Folnir, and the kingdom is taken by that guy, and Amith is thought to be dead. He cut off a guy's nose off and tried to save face, get it, by saying the kid died. But I wonder if the king was quite happy with being killed like this. I know he cursed his half-brother, but he wanted to die in battle so he can see Valhalla. Many years later, the kid has found work with Vikings who are raised in the kingdom of Rus, the precursor to Russia, which here was founded in modern-day Ukraine, and Kiev was mentioned as well. Yep, that's why Putin is doing what he did, because modern-day Russia was founded in modern-day Ukraine. Yeah, there's a history lesson. He even did a whole speech on it as well, just before the war. Now, Amith is a berserker, and we have a ceremony that takes place for him to become a beast. Now, in history, many people through oral and written spoke of soldiers that turned into animals, but in reality, they took a shed load of hallucinogenics and thought they turned into beasts as they attack. It was a stunning sequence. Now, when you think of berserkers, you think of them jumping off the long ships and attacking a coastal settlement of monks. But here we fight some people here, and we come across a Sirius played by Bjork, who reminds him that he must seek revenge. He's kind of like he's on a alternate path at the moment. He's like done a side quest or something in Elden Ring. After this, he leaves to go on to his journey, pretends to be a slave from one of these Slavic peoples, and he's bound for Iceland after hearing that his uncle is tending to a backwater kingdom after King Harald, who took his land. You may recognise King Harald, of course. He was the first king of Norway and is prominent across all Viking adaptations. Here he meets Olga, played by Anna Taylor-Joy, who is just once again knocking it out of the park, who is a sorceress. But in reality, she uses mushrooms and the earth, to create their spells. Now, they have an alliance to reach each other's goals, hers to escape and his to kill his uncle. Now, in the years between, Folnir has had a child with Gudrun, and he also has his other elder child who you saw at the start of the movie, and Amith wishes to save his mum. He engineers it so he's kept and not sold, works hard to gain trust, and he encounters the new spiritual witch after the death of the previous one, Heimler the Fool, and is informed of the oath the Norns, the women who spin the loom of destiny, have for him. He is to use a special sword to kill his uncle on a burning land. Now, he goes to get this sword from a dead nobleman. You can see him here. He was buried with his ship under a mound, which is quite normal here. And I loved how it was like something out of Dark Souls or Elden Ring, as a sort of Draugr or Revenant. I'm not sure if that's what it was supposed to be. Defends the sword, but is defeated, and it was just a vision as he returns to finish the job, but it's not quite right yet. He bides his time and is selected to take part in a sporting event. And we see a cameo from a legendary strongman, Hafthor Bjornsson, who you may know as the Mountain That Rides from Game of Thrones. He ends up saving his half-brother from the big man after he ran on the field, and is given a promotion in his duties, and even chooses Olga after she refused Folnir. And the pair hatch a plan to cause chaos until the stars align for his fate. He uses the blade to kill Folnir's men, which the spiritual women of the village see as an evil spirit, as Amith continues the reign of terror until the slaves are given weapons and the people in charge are given psychedelics by Olga, which they think is spirits. Amith reveals himself to his mum, but she reveals that she was actually a slave and she hated his dad, prefers a new family as it was born out of love. In a way, it mirrors his relationship with Olga, who was a slave and he was a highborn. Now, she pretends to seduce him, but he can't kill a woman out of honor, and he kills the other son before he is outed. He has to run, but saves Olga by pretending to bring the son's heart, and is captured, but saved by Odin's ravens, and a Valkyrie comes, but Olga saved him in reality. And they try to get to the Orkney Islands, as it turns out she's pregnant, and they could start a new kingdom. But unfortunately, his fate is sealed. It will always mean he has to fight his uncle, as well they will be hunted. He cannot escape. His kin is safe, which he had to choose, and he raids the village, killing the slaves and killing his mum and half-brother, leading to a duel which ends in mutual death, which just looked stunning. The visceral, raw power that you see in this movie is expertly acted. In a way, his destiny would always lead to this, as he was always told what to do out of honor. It's kind of set for him, as that makes sense. He is taken to Valhalla, the Viking afterlife, that can only be entered if you die in battle or by the blade, or the axe, or really anything. In a way, Folnir helped his brother who yearned to die in battle but had not yet. He sees a vision of his family as he's taken by a Valkyrie. The movie was stunning and had the surreal lighthouse with a great portrayal of the time, just like The Witch. I do feel that this was a lot more accessible and a lot more mainstream than Robert Eggers' other movies. And while it's A24, I do feel like it is a lot more mainstream than those kind of movies, as I would group it with them because it's pretty much similar. But overall, I absolutely loved it and thought it was one of the best movies of the year so far. That is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like down below. Do subscribe with notifications on if you want more from us. And I'll see you soon, and goodbye.